Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of 284 News. It is Saturday, April 5th, 2025. I'm Ron Grant bringing you the very latest out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands. This is your weekly news roundup. In case you missed it, these are some of the top stories of this week. A happy Saturday. Thank you so much for joining us. The Office of City Manager has locked out 15 vendors operating at Crafts Lives on Waterfront Drive. The vendors were locked out of their stores as of Monday, March 31st because of non-payment. The issue of non-payment with the vendors is something which has been ongoing for the past 10 to 12 years.
Well, the situation is we have been actually coaxing our tenants at Crafts Alive to actually pay their outstanding debt. And we wrote to them early February and asked them to submit to paying or come into the office and get a payment plan so that we could move the process forward, because the outstandings have been a little higher than normal. And unfortunately, most people did not make any effort to do anything, and so we were not able to collect the monies. So we made a decision that on the 31st of March, we would block out those that had big outstanding bills and see if we would be able to trigger any action. And we did trigger some action this morning, I must say. We have people who are in debt for the past 10 to 12 years. We have a range from $10,000. For renting a spot at Crafts Alive, we have it set up in such a way that during the season, which is the tourist season, they pay $250 a month. And during the soft season, they pay $150 a month. But technically, the rent would be $200 a month because you pay $2,400 per annum. We took action last evening, which would have been the 31st of March. And this morning, we had approximately 7 or 8 vendors show up at the office, which is approximately half of what we locked out. We know that some will be coming later this afternoon because, some people would have to get their coaches and what have you to come to talk to us. We have their invoices and statements ready for them so that they can actually see. And we've asked them to also bring their receipts in so that we can verify, because some people are saying to us that, I don't owe that much. But the situation is this. If you have a bill, just for argument's sake, of $1,000, and your rent is due on the 1st of every month, but on the 26th of the prior month, you paid $200. When the 1st of the month comes, we're going to put back on $200. So it basically comes as if you have not done anything to your outstanding balance. So that's the challenge that we face. You have a bill for, a couple $1,000, and you come and you pay the minimum on it, so it's not moving anywhere. And what we're trying to get them to do is pay something a little bit more substantial on their outstanding balance.
Brathwaite said there are currently 60 vendors operating from Crafts Alive, noting that they are diversifying a way for that shopping area.
I have been given instructions from the ministry to actually make some action, make some waves, and when we finish making those waves, based on what happens, then vendors will be evicted, and then once they're evicted, we'll create the space for new vendors to operate in Crafts Alive, because it's really getting ridiculous. There are a number of places that, for whatever reasons, people don't actually come anymore and to do business there. But then when something like what happened today happens, then I resurrect and I decide, okay, I want my space, but you haven't used your space for 5 years, you haven't used your space for 6 years. So technically what has happened, you have relinquished your lease, you have relinquished your arrangement, so technically the space no longer is assigned to you. So hopefully within the next couple of months, we should have some new vendors in Crafts Alive with some new creative and innovative things, and we're looking forward to a new Crafts Alive come next tourist season. The main reason they give for not paying is we don't make anything. But over the years, these vendors have made. These vendors are doing a lot better than it looks at face value. And that is one of the reasons why you have to do what you have to do. They're saying, things come up. For instance, you have situations where a vendor may have an issue, health issue, and they leave Tortola and they go to the United States or they go to the United Kingdom, but they can't leave the United Kingdom or the United States without paying their bills. So $200 a month? Let's be real.
The BVI Electricity Corporation announced the launch of a new, more transparent electricity bill. They say that will be distributed to all customers starting April 2025. The new bill format, introduced during a press conference held this week at the BVI-EC's Longbush headquarters on Thursday, April 3rd, is designed to enhance customer understanding of how their electricity charges are calculated. New columns have also been added to give greater insight into fuel-related charges. These include cost of fuel per gallon, BVI-EC fuel subsidy per gallon, customer fuel surcharge per gallon. This move, they said in a quote, is a part of BVI-EC's commitment to increase transparency as well as accountability. General Manager of BVI-EC Dr. Neil Smith also added customers deserve to know not only what they are paying for, but also what BVI-EC is doing to support them, especially in these violent energy markets. This new bill empowers our customers with knowledge. Chief Financial Officer Ms. Carmen Sully emphasized BVI-EC's ongoing historical and commitment to offsetting the cost of energy to the customer. She said, and I quote, "Each month, BVI-EC contributes significantly toward the cost of fuel to help buffer customers from rising energy prices. By making this contribution visible on the bill, we are not only being more transparent, we're also showing the value BVI-EC delivers to every household and business within the territory." From a systems standpoint, the bill's redesign represents a major upgrade in how billing information is processed and displayed. Mr. Hector Cruz, business systems analyst, stated, and I quote, "As we continue to innovate, we use opportunities like these to sensitize the public. In the near future, you can expect to see more innovative solutions that drive the corporation's mission of being more customer-centric." The corporation encourages all customers, they say, to review the new bill format once it is available and to reach out if they have any questions or concerns through the BVI-EC's customer service channels. This initiative is part of the BVI-EC's broader push toward operational transparency, customer education, and continued public trust in the energy services provided across these Virgin Islands. Recently sworn-in opposition leader and 6th District Representative, the Honorable Myron V. Walwyn, in a recent interview outlined what the public could expect from his representation. He was at the time joined by members of the Opposition Alliance while speaking to Tweet 4 Media, who both attended his swearing-in ceremony by His Excellency Governor Daniel Pruce.
The alliance, as I've said before, was formed out of our love for our country and the fact that we believe that we were not, at least as an opposition, being as effective as we could be. Of course, we have concerns with the government, and we continue to raise those concerns. But we have to also do some introspection and look at ourselves to see if we are being as effective as we can be in terms of representing the interests of the people. And when we did that introspection, the answer was no. When we looked a little further, it was because of the divisions that existed. You had several different parties operating within the opposition. Persons working in silos, not working together, not discussing questions, not discussing how we're going to tackle certain bills and our contribution to make sure that all members understand the bills fully. And we said to ourselves, this doesn't work. The synergies, the energy, the togetherness that is needed to be able to help people to understand what is being done on their behalf more. We were losing some of that. And so we decided, look, let us come together and try to move beyond party boundaries to see how we can better serve the country. And we also invited the other members of the opposition as well to join us in a similar manner. Of course, this would have been seen as a precursor to us merging our organizations together to be one formidable force in 2027. I think it has been going well. I think that people who are paying attention to the House of Assembly would see that we are in fact working together, particularly on the devices that we have been using, where one person can ask a question, a substantive question, and other persons can ask a follow-up. It helps in the overall effort to hold the government to account, and it shows that when we work together, we can achieve a lot more. And that's what the Alliance is really about.
Walwyn also spoke on the new opportunities for the opposition within the newfound collaboration.
That it's a new opportunity for the opposition, a new opportunity for the country. And we've already started to have discussions. For instance, some of the major things that we're going to be looking at, as I said to you, the Public Accounts Committee. You're going to see a far more active Public Accounts Committee going forward. We have looked at the standing orders. There's something called special select committees that have never functioned in the history of the House of Assembly. Special select committees are committees that you form to look into urgent and difficult matters. There are so many matters that the public speak about daily. The NHI, we speak about the issues with water, we speak about issues with healthcare, the assistance grants, for instance, coming from social development, and we are going to work with everyone in the House of Assembly to try to get special select committees to look into those difficult areas that we're having within governance, call witnesses, make recommendations, and then look for implementation of the recommendations. So there's a lot that we can do from the opposition perspective, and the stronger the opposition is, the better the government should become, because our job is to hold them to account. And if you have somebody holding you to account, then the end result should be better performance on that end. And that is what we are really, really trying our best to do.
He also reiterated what the territory can expect from him as an opposition leader.
Certainly, you're going to hear my voice representing the opposition on many issues around the territory, because we can't just wait until we get into the House of Assembly to speak. There are a lot of other issues within the territory that we have to lend our voices to, so that people can be educated as to what is happening, and also let the government know that there are other alternatives, and we can work together where we can to make things better. So you're going to see a far more active opposition, and you will certainly hear my voice quite a bit representing the opposition on issues that are important to the country.
Chief Medical Officer Dr. Ronald Georges has underscored the importance of continued investment in immunization. Dr. Georges was at the time speaking at a workshop where primary health nurses were provided with essential training to strengthen immunization services across the territory. The workshop was conducted by the BVI Health Services Authority in partnership with the Ministry of Health and Social Development and the Pan American Health Organization, as well as the World Health Organization, also known as PAHO, or WHO. It was facilitated by Dr. Karen Broom, Advisor, Immunization for the Caribbean Subregion of PAHO and WHO, and Dr. Solange Kobe Jackson, Advisor, Community Health and Life Course for Primary Health Care for Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean countries at PAHO and WHO. Dr. Ronald Georges explained that the training is an investment in the resilience of their healthcare system, emphasizing that their nurses are at the front line of immunization efforts, and by equipping them with the latest tools and knowledge, they are ensuring that their communities remain protected from vaccine-preventable diseases. The workshop focused on critical areas including vaccine coverage, disease, surveillance, outbreak response, and effective vaccine communication. Participants also engage in data interpretation and management training, ensuring they can make informed decisions to improve immunization strategies within the BVI. Director of Primary Healthcare, Dr. Natasha Frett, said that primary healthcare nurses are instrumental in the success of their immunization programs. According to her, this workshop not only enhances their technical skills, but also reinforces their role as leaders within the public health. Premier Dr. the Honorable Natalia D. Wheatley believes the amendments that are being made to the Merchant Shipping Amendment Bill will enhance the government's ability to regulate and oversee activities involving the Virgin Islands registered ships internationally. In presenting the amendments to the bill in the House of Assembly this week, Premier Wheatley says the BVI is committed to upholding the highest of standards in maritime safety, security, and environmental protection, and these legislative reforms will not only ensure compliance with international obligations, but also reinforce the territory's ability to effectively regulate, enforce, regulate, and support the global maritime industry. The Premier says the amendment to the Merchant Shipping Act 2001 are part of government's ongoing legislative reform to align with international maritime standards, particularly the International Maritime Organization's Third Code. The Premier says strengthening the BVI's legal framework demonstrates the commitment to responsible flag state administration and enhances the territory's position as a premier maritime jurisdiction. Meanwhile, Deputy Premier, the Honorable Julian Fraser RA and 3rd District Representative, in debating the bill, expressed concern about the additional powers that are being granted to the governor in the bill. Fraser said he is against this move and he alerted other members not to allow this to happen.
In this piece of legislation, Madam Speaker, there is no pretense about it. The first thing you would notice in it, it says the governor shall make regulations. And even before that, Madam Speaker, it speaks about it says, this act shall come into force on such date as the governor may by proclamation published in the Gazette appoint. So it says that, it's in here. And everything else talk about the governor making regulations and all that stuff. And I think that we need to be careful. And every member of this House has a responsibility to ensure that we don't lose a single inch, not an inch, of what we have. And we lose it by, it comes to us in a form that is, I would say, palatable if you're not cognizant of what you're doing. We will pass this bill, Madam Speaker, and it becomes law. And the Premier who's responsible for this subject has absolutely no authority under this bill. We can't allow that to happen. If you look at the Constitution, Madam Speaker, Section 60 of the Constitution, it talks about the governor's special responsibilities. It said that the governor shall be responsible for the conduct subject to this Constitution and any other law. So even though merchant shipping, Virgin Islands shipping registry, you wouldn't find it in the Constitution. The Constitution would not point you to it. But it also said, and any other law. So here we are making a law that makes this a part of the governor's special responsibility.
And in Fraser's words, he cautioned members to be woke.
Or else we will just be wearing suits with zero authority. And everyone is looking to us as if we do. But we're doing it to ourselves. I implore my fellow colleagues to do what you have been doing recently, which is making legislation that conform to the Constitution. And this is another opportunity. And when we get back here to the House, we'll be debating some matters that will bring it full circle. What is afoot? What is afoot? What they're trying to do to us. We know we need to start now and make sure that we don't continue down this road.
The House of Assembly was in committee making stages to amend the bill. Up next, viewers, we have much more on this week's Weekly News Roundup. Some claim that the age of a true gentleman is far behind us, but we disagree. He may appear in different guises today, but the values and ideals that make him a gent still stand. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman by yours truly, Ron Grant, presents Season 7. Introducing Travi Rose, Creative Director. Alex Lake, Businessman. Sean Black, Cinematographer. Dakari Wheatley Adams, Content Creator. Donandre Millwood, Educator and Musician. Hashim Dream, Entertainer. James Todman Sr., Contractor. Dr. Albert Tompkins, Psychotherapist. Walter Barrett, Author. Rakim Todman, Producer and Engineer. Kamal Letzim, Photographer. Roosevelt Smith III, Sales Manager and Hospitality Professional. Leland Abraham, IT Technician and Cybersecurity Analyst. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman Season 7, every Wednesday at 8 p.m., exclusively on 284 Media. Get ready to reason, reflect, and redefine yourself through the stories of real-life heroes. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman Season 7, Raising a Generation of Greatness. Voted Top 35 Gentleman Podcast Worldwide by FeedSpot and BI Icon Award winner.
BVI, the biggest sailing event of the year, is back. Get ready for 7 days of non-stop action at the 52nd BVI Spring Regatta and Sailing Festival, happening March 31st to April 6th at Nanny Key. Come for the races, stay for the vibes. At the Regatta Village, it's all about fun, flavor, and fantastic entertainment. Enjoy local food, ice-cold drinks, and high-energy performances by DJ Wiz, the 3Gs, and Final Phase. Catch the Makajumbies, explore local art, and dance the night away under the stars. Whether you sail or you just love a good old party, this is where you need to be. So mark your calendars, March 31st to April 2nd at Nanny Key. BVI Spring Regatta, baby, 2025.
At Higher BVI, we're not just about business. We're about empowering lives, and that is because we aspire to inspire. By choosing us, you're supporting a company that believes in equal opportunities, diversity, and community growth. Our mission goes beyond profit. It's about providing HR solutions, fostering talent, and leaving a positive impact. Join us in building a better future, a better BVI. Choose Higher BVI, where your support isn't just a transaction, it's a transformation. Together, we're changing lives in these beautiful Virgin Islands.
Welcome back, everyone. The BVI is said to be readying itself for any eventuality which may result from the U.S. proposed increase in tariffs and the $1 million per port call on Chinese-built vessels calling at U.S. ports. Only on Thursday last week, Barbados' Prime Minister Mia Mottley said they are potentially facing, with the announcement, levy on ships made in China is serious as well as deleterious consequences for the commerce, not just for the Caribbean, but also for Florida. Premier Dr. The Honorable Natalia D. Wheatley told a press conference recently this week that his government is extremely serious about food security.
At the agriculture fair in Virgin Gorda, I would have sent a very urgent message to those who are listening and to the people of the Virgin Islands. For very long, and it's not just government administrations, all of us, the entire society has taken our food security for granted because, of course, we've been able to get that ship coming from Miami for many years. Every now and again, we have a Y2K or we have a hurricane or we have a pandemic, and food security comes within the national conversation. And I sent a message to everybody concerned that we have to recognize the urgency of the moment. Now, yes, I have spoken about it, and I will continue to speak about it. But correspondingly, all our ministries and government departments need to be able to take these really mandates from myself and from Honorable Cal Dawson, who have worked and will continue to work to support me in the area. They have to take these mandates and execute it, because moving forward, we demand accountability in the particular area. We've budgeted monies. We've made a clear vision. We've made our vision very clear.
Premier Wheatley admitted that what they've done thus far is not enough to meet the scale of the challenge. Hence, his recent attendance at the OECS meeting in St. Martin was crucial, he said, adding that each one of the countries are experiencing the very same issues.
Everybody is heavily reliant on imports from Miami, including the country you're from, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And all of us discussed that we had to accelerate efforts. So the OECS heads of government, we've agreed to meet monthly now. And we've mandated the Director General of the organization, Dr. Didicus Jules, to come up with a strategic, a strategy, and to get a strategic team in place so that we can accelerate efforts to harmonize our processes, our procedures, our tariffs, to ensure that we have proper transportation going throughout the OECS, so that we can have a level of food security that our people can depend on.
The Premier also stated that he has had preliminary discussions with local shippers on how they can deal with the situation.
The Dominican Republic, for instance, and it's the same thing with the OECS. So what you're talking about in terms of the OECS is just talking down the road. No, it's not. You know, actually, OECS has been talking to a network of shippers, with St. Martin, Guadeloupe, and Martinique joining. That's the gateway to the European Union. The European Union receives shipping from Europe on a regular basis. So if we have challenges in terms of the United States, we can look also to the European Union. But there's no kind of shortcut around the things that we're talking about, Zan. What we've been spoken about is the way to address food security in the Virgin Islands. It's not going to be a magic pill that we swallow. It's not going to be an action that we can just take overnight.
The BVI now has an integrity commission in place. The members of the commission were involved in an orientation session on Thursday, March 27th. They are Reynold Fraser, Jean Creaky, Dancia Penn, Reverend Sandra Walters Malone, and Dr. Robert McTavius. Penn has been appointed as the chairperson of the commission. The Integrity Commission is an independent body established under the Integrity in Public Life Act 2021 in the Virgin Islands. Its primary role is to promote and enhance ethical conduct among individuals in public life, thereby strengthening good governance and preventing corruption within the public sector. Members of the commission are appointed by the governor in agreement with the Premier. A prison officer was stabbed by an inmate with known mental illnesses. This was on March 30th, and recently this week, following the incident, Superintendent at Prisons, Jay Kendall, given an assurance that staff use appropriate measures to de-escalate the situation. In a statement to the media Monday, March 31st, Kendall said a prisoner with known mental health challenges attacked a prison officer. Superintendent Kendall said staff responded swiftly and effectively, using appropriate and measured force to de-escalate the situation and ensure the safety of all involved. Kendall said that both the officer and the inmate received medical attention at the Dr. D. Orlando Smith Hospital, were treated and released the very same day. He commended his staff for their professionalism, vigilance, and quick response, adding that their decisive actions prevented further harm and demonstrated the critical role their officers play in maintaining a secure and supportive environment, he says, while managing inmates with complex needs. The superintendent explained that this incident underscores the unpredictable nature of corrections and the works, and well as highlights the ongoing challenges associated with mental health in custodial settings. That is it for this weekend's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for your daily news updates at tweet4media.com, as well as to follow us on our WhatsApp channel, as well as Tweet4Media on Instagram and X, formerly Twitter, and Facebook. I'm Ron Grant. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend. A happy Saturday. Goodbye.
BVI, the biggest sailing event of the year, is back. Get ready for 7 days of non-stop action at the 52nd BVI Spring Regatta and Sailing Festival, happening March 31st to April 6th at Nanny Key. Come for the races, stay for the vibes. At the Regatta Village, it's all about fun, flavor, and fantastic entertainment. Enjoy local food, ice-cold drinks, and high-energy performances by DJ Wiz, the 3Gs, and Final Phase. Catch the Makajumbis, explore local art, and dance the night away under the stars. Whether you sail or you just love a good old party, this is where you need to be. So mark your calendars, March 31st to April 2nd at Nanny Key. BVI Spring Regatta, baby, 2025.